Hi there, this is Katrina Gibson, and this is my assignment 2, DNS server configuration with Bind. So I'm going to SSH in, and that the SSH keys set up already. Just gonna do this. So SSH into my kgibson at ns1. This is my name server 1, and like that, we're in. And I'm also SSH'd into ns2 right here with the same thing. So first I'm going to show that SC Linux is enforced on both servers. SC status is enabled, it's enforcing, and same for NS2 right here. Each server also has two NICs, which is the bridged and the private. So here, this is 2. So here's my bridged right here, 10.10.20.219, and here's my private right here, end of 51. And do the same thing on NS1, 10.10.241, and this one here, private, ends with 50. And we can look at the host names, and the static host name is ns1.kgibson.com. For my name server 1, my domain is kgibson.com. And we can do the same thing here. And this one's ns2, because it's name server 2. Then let's look at the time and date, make sure they're accurate. Yes, time is 2:31. It's America, Vancouver, so it's Pacific time. And same here, the exact same. So here's my named config file. This is for NS1. This one is configured as the master or, authoritative DNS server for the domain, and it's reverse lookup zone. Let's see the first part up here, the options. So the server is listening on all interfaces. It includes the bridged IP and the loopback. IPv6 is disabled unless needed. Zone transfers are only allowed to my secondary server, my NS2, and recursion is only allowed for anything on my subnet here. So this is my logs. This is where all my logs are going into. Now onto the zone. So the type is master. So it manages zone files, and the zone files are located in var named. This is the forward zone right here. Allows the transfer only to my NS2 server. And then this is my reverse zone here. Now onto my NS2 server. This is what's called the slave DNS server. Not a fan of the name. It pulls zone files from my master, the NS1 server, using zone transfers. So this one's only listening on loopback and the internal IP. So it helps prevent public DNS exposure. And it allows queries and recursion only from the internal subnet here. So 192.168.224.0 subnet. And this has a no allowed transfer, meaning that it doesn't serve transfers, but it does receive them. Now on to the zone part here, zone configuration. So as I said before, the type was a slave. So it pulls from the NS1, the master here, and this is the reverse right here. And it goes into the zone data folder right here. So here are my forward zone files. So here we are in the A records. You have my NS1, NS2, my www, and my mail. So they are there. The serial number formatted by year, month, date, and this is what you check off for each time you change it, and all this stuff here. Alright, now we're going to look at the reverse zone files, and there you are, right here, and the same kind of thing over here. So here's the netstat output, and it shows that the named is listening on all TCP here, and UDP, port 53, on all the required interfaces. Includes the internal subnet and the loopback. Alright, now I'm going to dig my NS1 and NS2 servers from my host computer here, my Windows. Alright, so now the dig command for my NS1 server and my domain. Gonna run it. See here. Alright, perfect. Alright, and we got authoritative answers. Got the A flag here. Authority 1, no error. Perfect. And we'll do the same for NS2. Alright, perfect. Perfect. You got the same as NS1. So the authority section is going through NS1. Alright, so now I'm going to do the TC dump on my NS1. This is for port 53. Looking on my one interface, my private interface. And then I'm going to do a dig from my Windows over here again and see if I can catch that traffic. Then I'll do the same thing for NS2. So let's start the TCP dump. Okay, and let's do the dig for NS1. Let's see if we go back here. Look, we're getting stuff here again, and see if the query time has gotten less since I just ran it. Look, we got back here. Perfect. So now let's do an NS2. Do the same command. First, we'll stop this first. Alright, so we're running it now on NS2. So let's do another dig, but this time for my name server 2.1, so it's 51. And do a couple. And we see some action going on at NS2. Alright, now it's time for the reverse DNS lookup. This tests reverse DNS, and it uses our PTR records. And let's take a look here. This is for NS1. Alright, so the result matches the expected host name. Everything the same. ns1.kgibson.com. Things all right here. And say if we do the same thing for our secondary name server, the exact same over here. Now I'm going to do a zone transfer test. So I'm just going to add a new A record into my name server 1's forward zone. Alright, we'll be testing 123. And here's the IP address. We are going to change the serial number since it's a different day. We're just going to edit the forward to 06 because that's the date today. It is the 6th. To see the zone transfer here, we use dig using AXFR, and we can see the testing123kgibson.com. Its IP address is made over here. So now we're going to do recursive lookup. This is going to be against the private IP. This is name server 1, google.ca, and we see we get Google's IP address right here. And we're going to do the same thing for NS2. I've already ran it before, and you got the matching between both of them. So now we're going to do it against the name server's external IPs. Alright, so we do it here, and we get refused. So it will not show us Google's IP address. So it says here recursion is requested, but it's not available. And so it doesn't show Google's IP address because it's limited to the private IP address. We'll do the same thing for NS2. And we got the same thing as NS1. You have the warning, refused, no IP address. Now we're going to do a CNAME test. So we have to add it to our A record. Right, insert. So we insert here, alias, and CNAME. And we are going to edit the serial number as well. This time it's going to be edited to 02. I would like to make a note that I never realized that my dig lookups weren't giving the IP address, wasn't working properly, and all I needed to do was add this. This is the zone's root name. This is just like a shortcut for it for saying like kgibson.com, having its IP address here. So after I did that, I changed the serial number. I ran the CNAME one, the dig alias kgibson.com, and it returned here. It redirected the alias to www.kgibson.com, and it returned with my IP address here. So I realized that has been going on this whole time, and retry all the digs I've tried before with the A record now intact. So here I'm just doing it to kgibson.com. This is for my NS1 server. Here you get the IP address. And do it to name server 2. Redirects it back to my NS1. Redirects it back to my NS1 server. And we got the 2 mail servers in here. They're A records 61, 62, mail 1 and 2. And there we have the MX records right here, corresponding to their A records. So right now we're going to dig my MX records. And you can see here where we got my first one and second one. And dig was able to reach mail.kgibson.com before mail2.kgibson.com. So it just chose that one. We can run the same command on NS2, and the same thing for here. It reached mail.kgibson.com before it reached mail2. Let's return IP address. So it was the same as here, just in a quicker time. So now we're going to do an IPv6 dig. So here we go, IPv6 test. That IP address right there, and we're going to test it against my name server 1. And we get the IP address that we gave it in the forward zone, ending with 61. Alright, so here is my named config file on my NS1. So here we have only allowed transfer to my specific NS2 server. We have it here, and we have it here for the reverse as well. So it's important because if it was unrestricted, anyone could request a full copy of a DNS zone. It could learn all the internal host names and IPs, as well as it also limits the risk of targeted attacks against known services, and it ensures only entrusted servers should receive zone copies to maintain DNS integrity and consistency. We are going to edit the forward, add an A record. We'll just do .70 just for ease. We are going to edit the serial, and we are going to reload. So we have all this going on right here. So we have our 2 servers talking to each other. So it looks like it's mostly TCP that's doing this. So here is my firewall. So here's my firewall for NS1. So we have DNS enabled, same with SSH. And we got some special rules here showing that this is for the zone transfer. So this one shows that NS2s, which is 51 here, should be the only one going on 53, and to accept the TCP and UDP. This is the same for NS2, but except it's backwards with NS1's IP address. So it's only those 2 that should be talking on 53, and the firewall will allow for that. This is only for the private IP little firewall, and we've listed that the ports here. So we have 53 UDP and 53 TCP. We have forwarding, and this is this is the internal. I put my ENS 192, which is my private NIC, on internal for permanent, so it should never change if we have to boot up again. It should keep this all the same. And that is my assignment 2 about DNS and bind. Thank you.